Yeah. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. We'll call the plan commission to order, and I will ask staff to take a roll call.
Thanks, Mayor. Mayor Devine.
Here.
Raymond Clark.
Yes.
Frank is not here. Brandon Reinke.
Here.
Kathleen Dagenhart.
Here.
Lisa Coons.
Here.
Jessica Katzenmeyer, excused. David Rashka.
Here.
Eric Torkelson, excused. We have a quorum.
Excellent. All right. The next item then would be the approval of the minutes from our September 24th meeting.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. If there are no corrections, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? As head of the minutes are approved. Then we'll go to part D. And we will go with items 2A and 2B. Turn it over to Sven.
Thank you, Mayor. This first item is a proposed restaurant and lounge. We have anybody here representing 6601 National? No, okay. We can come back to these. I'm not sure if Bob Monk or anyone else is gonna show up.
We can
tonight.
go out of
We
order
can
and
just come back.
get people out of here.
Yeah. So 2 and 3, the same related property, Mandel. Fort Farms.
Okay. So you want to go to items 4A?
Yeah, we can go to item 4A. 4A is AMP Automotive.
and 4B together?
Yeah, 4A and B would go together. And AMP, anyone here for AMP Automotive? Oh, no. Jack, you wanna?
Sure.
I can just,
Do you want him to come up or is he,
yeah, you guys are welcome to come up if you like. Or- Yeah,
we have one chair?
sure.
You can come up.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right, so this property is at 10150 West National Avenue on the west side of West Dallas. This is for AMP Automotive. They are a proposed wholesale automotive dealer, which is different than other automotive dealers that we see within the city. The property at hand is zone C4, and this proposed wholesale automotive dealer falls within our light motor vehicle sales use, which requires a conditional use permit. The proposed hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the next slide gets more into the business details, to kind of go over how this is different than a typical like used car lot that we might be thinking of. So AMP Automotive will not sell vehicles to the general public and will not maintain an outdoor vehicle lot. No maintenance of vehicles will occur on site. They have an off-site location at a different area. I don't know if it's in West Dallas. The applicant can speak on that. But this is essentially office-based wholesale operations. What that means is the purchasing of vehicles by AMP Automotive and then from auctions and then public markets to other licensed dealers and other wholesale dealers, I believe. Essentially, the office space is the main component of this business. They're requesting office space to be used for administrative work, transactions, and occasional meetings. The wholesale automotive dealer is a Wisconsin state DMV licensed business that requires 2 parking stalls that were assigned by the property owner. However, these will not be used for like a display lot or sale lot as in typical automotive sales. No exterior or interior changes are being proposed to the site or the building. And that's essentially the whole scope of business. They're occupying a space within that second floor of that existing office building. No interior changes are as part of this. I did have a question for the applicant. Could you indicate where in the building you're going to be occupying?
212 right here.
All right, suite 212 they're occupying, so it's a rather small space. And
About 28 square feet.
yeah, 128 square feet, so not too big of an operation. With that being said, we do have a recommendation for approval, subject to some conditions, such as the conditional use approval by the common council. And then also revised site plan being submitted to identify the 2 parking stalls that will be used for A&P Automotive and ensuring that only a maximum of 2 parking stalls can be used for this business to ensure that there won't be any other automotive sales on site, such as a used car lot or a new car lot. And then also just statutory, just regular maintenance of existing landscaping. On the site, it doesn't appear that there's anything that's out of ordinary with this landscaping. Yeah, with that being said, we have the applicants here. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks.
Thank you, Jack. We have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Are there any questions or any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Let's have it. The item is approved.
Thank you.
That's it. I have to sign a thing then.
Like, so you get a call or something like that?
Yeah.
I think. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, then we can go to item 5A and 5B, the beauty collector. Katie.
Yeah, I'll be handling this item for you folks today. Do we have anyone here from the Beauty Collective? I don't think so, but that's all right. We will proceed. Next slide, please. Overall, the proposal here is fairly simple in nature. There's an existing business on site that offers esthetician services. And they are just looking to add 2 massage therapists to their suite of beauty salon services. So overall, the zoning of the site is C3. Massage therapy uses, regardless of where they're located, are pretty much always conditional, and in this case, definitely so. So this will require common council review. The hours of operation are amended from what I had posted on the staff report and there. They were just sent to me really recently. So for Megan Cottrell's suite, she's looking to operate Monday through Sunday between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And then Marisela Garcia is looking to operate Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. through 8 p.m. And this comes into play because there's a whole slew of questions I had to ask these folks to maintain compliance with their massage therapy businesses. So we asked for proof of their state licensure, which they have provided to me both the number and like actual proof of certification. They have to maintain customer appointment records. Megan is looking to maintain her records through Massage Book for her customer appointments, and then Marisela is looking to maintain through a different app called Vagaro. All customers are made to enter and exit through common and public areas, to which both of the interested parties have agreed to that. There's already 24/7 video coverage surveillance within the common public access areas. And they need to operate those daytime hours. So confirmed, they will not be open past 8 p.m. Overall, super simple. They're really not proposing any changes to the building's exterior. As of right now, there's 4 rooms within the building that are leased to salon suite tenants. 2 restrooms, 1 office, 1 mechanical room, and these proposed massage therapists will occupy suite 3 and suite 4. Overall, the site offers 12 parking spaces with 1 ADA stall, 2 entrances, 1 to the south and 1 to the west. Already there is an enclosed and screened dumpster on site north near the alley. And the landscaping upon my staff visit looks in good order. And really no changes are needed, and no comments have been made by any of our other departments either regarding this project. So overall, we are recommending approval based on that common council review and approval, and then compliance with those regulations that I had thrown your way previously. But at this time, if any of you have any questions.
Thank you. Questions?
So these are independent contractors within the collective,
That is correct.
running their own little business.
Yeah, so the way that we have the applicants go about this is the business owner, Brittany Riviera, her email's a little different. She applied specifically for the conditional use, whereas each of the tenants have applied individually to occupy each of those suites. So that's kind of how that.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
I'll move to approve.
There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Guys have it. Carries. Then we can move on to. What, are you guys up here for one item?
They're here for the one after this, so
We just-
7.
Should we just take item 7 now so we can let them go?
Sure.
All right. And then we'll take John and let him go and then,
Sure.
all right, so if it's not too much work, we'll take up item 7 next. Sending to us, Sweet Beauty Salon.
Yeah, so Luis Barbosa and team are here to represent SNA Bella Sweet. Weird, I got carried away with the B's. Bella Sweet
Bella
Beauty
Sweet.
Salon, yeah. At 7500 West Lincoln Avenue. Overall, we are looking to see this old dental office converted to a salon use. As in the order of the day, salons. And overall, the zoning of the site is C2, which is very compatible with the neighborhood services, which are permitted there. Overall, the hours maintained through this operation will be 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. by appointment only. And it's a fairly large sized lot at 7,200 square feet. Not large enough for a huge parking lot, but as you folks will see, they're looking to do a little bit of parking there. And the building itself occupies around 2,200 square feet of that. Overall, they're proposing a whole bunch of changes, which are pretty necessary to the site to bring it up to ADA compliance and modern touches and finishes, such as paving a small parking area with an ADA stall, removal and replacement of several of the interior walls to just align better with the floor plan that they have in mind, the addition of an ADA restroom, and then updating that interior layout. That's just a brief shot of the gravel area that we see today that is looking to be turned, at least in part, into a paved parking area. Overall, there is an existing retaining wall and a fair bit of green space to the northern portion of the lot that are set to remain on site. So preserving some green space is always appreciated in our plans. And we are looking to see a new 1,300 square foot paved parking lot in the area that's gravel already. So they've updated the plans a little bit since what we have sent out to you folks, so we'll go over that definitely tonight. But we're looking at 2 standard stalls and 1 ADA compliant stall. And we had recommended that the ADA stall be relocated closest to the building now, which it is. And then further meet those dimensions of being 11 feet wide with a 5-foot access area. We did ask also that the refuse enclosure be moved to a paved area specifically. Their fencing plans for that all look compliant and good, and the location of the dumpster has been moved since what has been sent out to you folks. The unpaved portions of that existing gravel lot are going to be reseeded with topsoil and everything to transition that better back to green space. And the existing ADA ramp and concrete walkway along West Lincoln Avenue is going to be fitted with new ADA compliant railings. No lightage plans have been submitted at this time, and no signage plans have been submitted, though it's pretty likely that they're going to replace the old dentures dentistry cabinet on the building. But we will wait until those plans come to us. Next slide, please. And here's the updated plans. So they have pared down the number of parking stalls and added that ADA compliant stall closest to the building to the specifications that we did ask for. The dumpster also aligns with being in a paved area for ease of pickup and drop off of refuse. There you can see the area that's going to go from concrete to grass again. And then those circle callouts just point out to existing driveway access points. The one along Lincoln Avenue is not usable. It doesn't lead to anything besides grass, and it's definitely not large enough to put a car through. But upon discussing this matter with our engineering department, Steve, feel free to confirm, it seems like this is going to be amended in a future street reconstruction plan. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't really have to worry about that as of right now, though if they do want to mess with that, we ask that they pull permits. And then if they make any amendments to the existing driveway apron off of 75th Street, we ask that they pull permits for that as well. So overall, the floor plan, we see a lot going on in here, a fair bit of renovation to accommodate that employee lounge, meeting room, 4 offices, laundry room, mechanical room, and an ADA compliant restroom. We're going to see some new interior walls that'll define the proposed basement space, while many of the existing walls remain. Both existing basement egress stairways are going to remain and be upgraded with like new handrails for safety. On the first floor, We see a fair bit of reconfiguration of those walls to include 7 new salon rooms and 1 spa room, through the addition of new partition walls. Overall, here we see 2 unisex restrooms on the first floor with a whole slew of ADA upgrades. And the first floor is going to maintain those 3 points of existing egress located to the building's south, west, and northern sides. The architectural plans remain mostly the same compared to what we've seen. So that exterior masonry wall and existing brickwork is going to stay on the building with no new material callouts or color changes noted. But the biggest thing is going to be updating that those handrails on the ADA ramp facing Lincoln Avenue, and then several callouts to the replacement of windows there. Upon conducting a site visit today, I did notice that like some of the windows do have some cracking. So all of the callouts on the architectural plans for new windows on essentially every side of the building are appropriate and definitely recommended. So overall, we recommend approval of this project overall. And we just ask that a revised parking plan create that ADA compliance. So if it looks like it is compliant with our regulations, we ask that the refuse container be moved to a paved area, which they're good on that too. And then we ask for some additional landscaping and screening along the north property line to buffer the adjacent residential use. If either of the driveways get touched through this project, we ask that permits be pulled for that work. We'd like to see an exterior lighting plan just as we get darker earlier in Wisconsin. Outdoor lighting is definitely essential for some business operations so customers can safely navigate outdoors. And then if they should apply for new signage, which seems fairly likely that they apply for that also. At this time, if anyone's got any questions.
Thank you.
I have a question. How many parking spaces are there? Only 2?
Yeah, it's a fairly small operation. And if anyone here wants to speak to like why so few or kind of what SNA Bella
It seems
Suites.
like there's a lot of rooms for clients.
She's kind of wondering like.
The clients come by appointment
Okay.
and there's 2 employees, the owners of the business. So they will not have 5, 6 people at the same time. That's why they have a parking space for one of the ladies, for the 2 employees and 1 for the appointment. So they will not have, as I said,
Is there parking on 75th Street
Yeah.
as well?
it's
Street
There is.
parking?
on both sides.
That's where I parked today. I parked on the street. So,
Okay, thank you.
well,
Thanks. Any other questions?
I move approval.
Okay. There's a second. There's a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7 is approved.
Thank you.
No need to go directly and apply. for permits.
Yeah.
Yes.
permits, Yeah.
You're
Thank you
no,
very much. for
no
your help.
massage therapy, so you're good to go.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping in.
Item 8.
Great. John Nova is here. Hey, John.
Hello.
Hey, John, feel free to come on up if you'd like. John is Oak Brewing Company. In the team are looking at making some site modifications to the existing front yard in front of the brewery. And this is a view. It's great signage currently on the railing, but the volleyball courts, there's 2 volleyball courts on the right-hand side of the east side of the front yard area. The area that we're looking at here is a sort of a bocce ball court area and an access aisle in between the bocce and the cornholes and the volleyball. So with the changes proposed here are to basically reorientate some of the areas out in front here. That bocce ball court area is going to be converted to another sand volleyball court. It'll feature the side skirts bedding around the outside, some updated down lighting. And then the cornhole or bags area is going to be shifted and reorientated in east-west. There's 7 or so lanes there that are going to be added. The food truck area is going to be expanded slightly to offer additional food trucks in that area. And then there's going to be a storage shed just north of the food truck area for equipment or for the bags, for volleyballs and so on. And then further east on the site, right here, there's sort of a raised patio area here now. That'll be converted to a band shelter. They routinely have music on Thursday, I think Thursday evenings, John. And the idea there is to provide a little bit of a shelter for the musicians, but also to focus the sound west towards the outdoor seating area and the food truck area. It'll be directed away from the Sona Lofts, which is directly east of the railroad spur that runs north-south on the east side of the property. And then lastly, there's two malt storage tanks that'll be added here down in the south east corner of the site. And those will be basically used for production, beer production, and beverages and so on. That's in a nutshell some of the proposals. There is a large tree on the site that's going to be removed. But landscaping will be replaced. These are some of the details of what we kind of just went over. But the band shell is really, or the shelter is kind of a pre-engineered silo of sorts that's going to be installed on the site. So very creative on that raised platform, and then it basically fits the look of of the existing facility. The existing brewery right now has metal siding on the outdoor portion of the over the bar area, and additionally, that'll sort of tie in with the new look of the malt silos on the east side of the building. The shed is going to be, John, how large is the shed again?
Prefab, and I believe it was 8 by 16.
8 by 16, again, for storage of the outdoor equipment. There'd be a split rail fence along the frontage of National Avenue, sort of winding around. It will be kept on site. It won't encroach into city right of way. Fire pit out here. I think there's additionally some fire pits underneath these pergolas here. And then the cornhole area being reorientated. That large tree, if you've been to the outdoor area recently, there's a large tree in this area over the beer garden. That's going to be removed, to accommodate some of these changes. But there will be another tree and some landscaping added just south of the existing tree, again, to add some shade, some greenery in that space. The lighting that's proposed is not going to be a stadium style lighting. It's going to be directed, I guess the example of the bollard style light that's shown there is directed downward. The existing lights that are on the two existing volleyball courts will be, again, directed downward as well, but they'll also feature some tinting and or house side shields, just again to sort of limit the display of light from the volleyball courts overall. And then the landscaping examples here, maple, crabapple, serviceberry types of trees in that new landscaping area. And this is just a sort of a detail of the volleyball court area. It's not just a matter of scraping the surface and throwing some sand down. There is actually some earthwork that goes into this, putting in underground 3-inch drain tile, and then the type of base material and then the type of sand over the top of that. So there's actually a bit more to it than maybe meets the eye on the surface. And then also additionally, I think this just goes into a little more detail of the routine with, Thursday night music seasonally with performances concluding usually by 9 p.m. Band shell is orientated to the west, away from the apartments. The down lighting on the volleyball courts, the netting is not visibly intrusive. It's meant to contain the balls, prevent them from going out into National Avenue or into, crossfire into the cornhole courts or into the beer garden. And then new lights to reduce the brightness and glare. And then the view here on the lower part here is on the east side of the property. This is the rail spur here, and then you've got the Sona Lofts property over here. It's about 75 feet away, and then you've got the band shell on this raised sort of platform here. And again, focused, another view of it, where the band shell will be located, about here. And then the view from the future band shell, projecting east or west, away from the apartments. So staff is recommending approval. It has been reviewed by a number of departments. The in terms of sound, OPE is very cognizant of the surrounding apartment buildings and of our noise ordinance. They will be preparing building permits and applying for those through our code enforcement department. And there may be some additional construction details to satisfy the building permits, but overall staff is recommending approval.
Any questions?
Steve, would you go back one slide, please? At fourth, pardon me, the third bullet. I mean, from everything I understand about Oak, they run a great operation, he does, and a great addition to the community. But where it says new volleyball court to feature down lighting and sport netting that is not visibly intrusive. And then it goes on to say not replicating the stadium style lights at existing courts. Does that suggest that the existing courts are a nuisance, the lighting?
I don't think so, but John.
If we had neighbors directly to the west, I don't think they would like them because they're on the east side of the volleyball courts and they point west. It's mainly our volleyball players that get blinded occasionally when they're looking up for a volleyball, that for that reason, we're going to dim them even further than what they currently are. And to that point, we're not going to replicate those lights elsewhere for the new court and rather just have down lights.
Thank you.
Yep.
I move approval.
Second.
Any other questions? There is a motion and a second. If there is no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's have the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, John.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Now you can do whatever you want.
Oh, might as well finish up with number 9 and
Okay,
then we can bounce back.
All right. This is for the future WAWM Activity and Fitness Center located in the former Lane Intermediate School. They are proposing a freestanding sign that they have already begun constructing the base of. However, that base of the sign and the sign itself is within the vision clearance triangle, which essentially the request comes at a time for the appealing of that location for that vision triangle. On the next slide, it shows what that vision triangle is. In the bottom image, the public or private alleyway that requires a 10 by 10 by 10 vision triangle, which the proposed freestanding sign is located within. However, per the city engineer, the sign encroachment does not significantly impair vision along 109th Street. Additionally, 109th Street is a rather low trafficked street. It's not an arterial or collector street, and this warrants further approval from the city engineer. Staff is in agreement with this, and on the next slide, there are some sign details just to go over it. The sign is conforming within the sign code. Overall, it's 9.9 feet tall with a 4-foot veneer base. Additionally, the sign area is approximately 34.2 square feet and also contains an electronic message center. Overall, this conforms with the city sign code. With that being said, staff is recommending approval for the sign appeal subject to a grant of privilege being submitted with the city attorney's office.
I move approval.
Second.
there is a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. You gonna do next item 6? You want to go back?
Sure,
to the top?
we can go back to 6.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
5.
Feature.
Oh.
So I will discuss all the craziness that is happening along Beecher Street. If anyone's driven past, it's been a little bit of a story. But yeah, we're looking at 7836 West Beecher. So overall, the property itself is very interestingly set out. So on one single lot, we have two single-family homes and one previously commercial building. As of right now, we are looking at the conversion of the single-story commercial into essentially a two-story mixed-use building. From what I understand, the story behind that is the property owner was looking to make some amendment or change to the building. And as they kept peeling things off, digging things out, whatever, eventually the building just had to come down, essentially. I'm not privy to what the problem was exactly with the building, but a little bit retroactively, now they are asking for approval of these plans. So we've got a whole slew of new exterior features proposed. And overall, the proposed use of the site does conform with the C2 zoning district. Mixed use / like commercial residential buildings, specifically the residential component, are considered a limited use, permitted if located on a lot that has another principal use. And my goodness, does this lot have a lot of uses? So, as of right now, the existing lot fronts West Beecher Street with an access to the alley to the east. And they are looking to essentially tear the whole thing down to the existing basement and foundation. They're going to keep all existing concrete driveways and walkways on this site while adding an ADA ramp, concrete pad, small landscaped area to the eastern side of the new building. And overall, it's an interesting project that really kind of is a test of like how much you can maximize a narrow lot within the C2 setback requirements. In the lower left corner, that's kind of where we're seeing all of the action happen. You can see the house just to the north of this project area as well as to the east. But right now, we're really just looking at that two-story mixed-use building. The areas in green are showing where new landscaping is going to be on site. Very interestingly, there's going to be a new set of stairs up on the northern portion of that building facade, and then also a new ADA compliant ramp toward the eastern portion of that facade. The ramp has a landing at the top and a little concrete pad at the bottom, highlighted in blue there, with some nice landscaping in between the building and the ramp. Overall, the two-story mixed-use building is constructed above the existing features that I'd mentioned previously. And the first floor is going to be about 1,300 square feet, designed for kind of a mystery commercial use, but there's a whole slew of stuff that could be permitted at this location. And overall, it's an open layout with an ADA compliant restroom. Access is going to be provided via the ramp entry on West Beecher and rear egress toward the alleyway. The second floor is comprised of two mirrored residential units arranged symmetrically around a central corridor. Each is going to have the standard, apartment things as mentioned there. And yeah, overall, that's kind of the gist of the floor plan. No floor plan was received for the basement. I pretty much assume that that's just going to remain open and used as storage. But if you folks want more details on the basement, we can definitely press the applicants a little bit more about that. But overall, the new building total area is going to be about 2,400 square feet. And it'll be about 127 feet high. Facade materials proposed include CMU split face block base, aluminum framed doors and windows, black vertical aluminum siding with a wood frieze, and an asphalt shingle roof. Features of the treated wood stairway and a metal handrail are going to be included in these plans, as well as that ADA ramp I'd mentioned. No colors particularly are specified on these plans, so we are going to request that the applicant show us what's it gonna all look like in the end with the finishes and with the proposed facade details here. If you want to hit one more.
Sure.
And here's the landscaping plan. So we're going to see new planting beds with green velvet boxwood and catmint ground cover, lining the building perimeter and walkways. Landscaping here offers some softening of the Beecher Street frontage while buffering the ramp and walkway access areas. There is a dumpster noted on the site, circled kind of in the upper right-hand corner there with a concrete pad. It says in the plans that it's going to be 6 feet high, screened with an enclosure and everything, but we don't have the materials specified for that. And parking is going to be provided along Beecher Street and South 79th Street, No lighting plans have been submitted at this point. So overall, we do recommend approval of these plans, but we do ask for the following. So just a confirmation of those exterior material color details and finishes shown on the architectural plans, and then a confirmation of the refuse enclosure area details. We would like to see an exterior lighting plan just due to the mix of uses on this building. And should signage go up for the commercial tenant of this building, of course, apply for that signage plan. At this time, this is kind of a crazy one, y'all. So if you have any questions, let's hear that.
Can you go back to the floor plan for a second?
I'm totally confused.
Oh
I'm like,
This makes
This
sense
isn't-
now why there's of why the building's gone. Okay. All right, I just want to make sure there was a door off of like Beecher Street. It looks like there is. So, okay, thank you.
Correct.
So I have a question is, so the commercial area is going to be on top?
No.
On the bottom,
Correct.
and then the two single family connected things
Yeah.
are gonna be on it.
Kind of similar to what you'd see on Greenfields, like a very commercial first floor and then potentially apartments above.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
confused. I thought it was the other way. So
I
you
might
don't,
have mixed up my
no,
words. So.
no problem. But we don't know what may be going into the commercial. They haven't.
That is correct, but similar to other projects like potentially Maker's
It's
Row.
just mixed use, yeah.
Yeah. They haven't indicated to us at this time what's going in, though it's assumed that it would be neighborhood scale residential service use. You wouldn't probably see a bar or restaurant popping up in this space due to the size. But we are definitely curious what could go in here.
What is it now? Just as people are living there?
Um,
I don't,
right
I'm not
now,
familiar with that. I drive by it all the
It's
time.
kind of gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe it's been vacant for quite some years.
okay, is that why?
It was
I've
very-
never noticed it?
I assume they were updating it because it's an outdated tenant space.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it looks like I mean, going past today, this property's been re-sided and it looks like they're doing some work inside of it to clean it up and prep it for, a new tenant. The other home to the west, there's a smaller, single-family white home over here. There were people in there today, and again, sort of updating the interior of the home for, for a new tenant.
Just drive by there.
Any other questions or needs for clarity?
I'll move to approve it.
Okay, for a second.
Second.
All right. There's no other discussion. All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Very good. Back up to. So let me pick that. I'll have my camera.
We wait for you, Mayor?
No, go ahead. I know this one.
There we go. So, the Mandel Group has, worked on its history of tenants, and there are at least tonight two that are being proposed for the Makers Row building at 66th and National Avenue. This is directly west of the farmers market and south of the West Living Apartments. National Avenue, in this case, is right off to your right-hand side of the screen. So the Makers Row property, this is just a wider view. You can kind of see the surroundings. Sona Lofts to the west. Lot 3 and 4, we talked about last month. With development of about 54 apartments, 51 apartments here and another 66 apartments on this lot were recently approved and will be coming, breaking ground later this year or early next year. But the Makers Row is really well positioned for, in the heart of all this new housing and existing housing in the surrounding farmers market neighborhood. The larger picture, while the site, the Makers Row site itself, outlined in blue, doesn't necessarily have off-street parking, it benefits from a master plan development here that's been put together over time with about 70 public parking spaces in that shaded grayish blue area. And those will not only support this development here, goings on, but also shared with the public who may want to park here for farmers market activities and so on. So the overview of the use, within this 11,000 square foot building called Makers Row, it's a new restaurant tenant. We've kind of kept the name quiet for now. That'll come out in the near future, but it is a group very interested in creating 4,000 square feet of space within that the end cap here on the right-hand side of the overall building. The C3 district, as its zone, does permit restaurants as a conditional use. Just another view looking at the site from National Avenue. Pretty much this area here from roughly about this downspout to the east is the 4,000 square foot of space that is the subject of tonight's conditional use, sort of outlined there in the lower right, and the rendering of what it could look like inside. But what they're going for, the theme that the restaurateurs, which will lease this space, are going for is an industrial urban retro theme. They want you to sort of reminiscent of the industrial pastime, but once you walk in, the finish is in a comfortable feeling. And the theme, as we understand it, is going to be Electric Rose Coffee. We do have that name, I guess. Electric Rose Coffee by day, basically from morning to noon. And then as you start to evolve from into the afternoon, evening hours to a cocktail bar with a light, small plate, shareable foods being offered. The kitchen hours for the food offerings, as indicated, they're basically between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. or let's say 9 p.m. And then on the weekends a little earlier, closing around 9 p.m. And then the seating count within this area is going to be composed of 116 seats. That's 60 on the ground floor. And then there's a mezzanine within this building, which can accommodate almost 20 seats, and then another 38 seats outside. So in the area, basically right here in that triangular shot, if you recall from that opening, the picture that we started with, they can get a number of tables and seats within this area. So if you can imagine that, if you're at the farmer's market and you're looking to the west and there's activity here and there's people enjoying this whole sitting outside, it just really keeps people in the area a little bit longer, supports the not only businesses here on the site, livens up the neighborhood even further, as well as spin-off positives for area businesses to strengthen and grow. So the staffing will be 5 full-time employees. The owner operators are actually going to be part of this, the day-to-day operations as well. And then they're going to have 3 to 4 part-time employees. They will have signage on the exterior of the building. And then in terms of recommendations, we are recommending approval in terms of conditions. Common Council hasn't been scheduled yet, but we're anticipating about December 9th to schedule this for Common Council review. And then we're asking the property owner, Bob Monin of Mandel Group, to provide an update on landscaping. There are some areas around the site. The site is underneath an approved plan from, I think it was about 2020, 2021. And but there are areas that are roughed in for landscaping but haven't been planted yet. But now with new tenants and activity here, we'll see that happening. So we want to get from Bob, a schedule of when that will take place. That'll likely be in 2026 in the spring, and followed by any updated details of that landscape plan, just to make sure that we're on track and that's moving along as part of the complete package here. And then building permits will be applied for, and then signage will come back. Actually, it'll be submitted for permit. If it needs some kind of variance or appeal, we'll bring it to the planning commission. That concludes my remarks on this one.
Thanks, Steve. Questions?
Move approval.
Second.
All right. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Yes, we'll move on to Fort Farms.
Horse Farms, this business is out there. There's been some recent press on this, but again, sort of the starting point here at the corner, this is where the previous tenant will be located. We walk down the sidewalk to the west and then turn the corner. The the back side of the building, you know, the middle point here on National Avenue, from that downspout from this window west is going to be the Fork Farms tenant. And there is some back of house area. And then this is sort of unoccupied as of now. Fork Farms is hydroponic farming. And they're going to occupy about 5,000 square feet. The unique thing about this portion, you know, while their tenant space is on the west side of the building, there is a loading dock that will, and a service corridor that they will be able to access for small box trucks and some loading and unloading activities. They intend to produce roughly about 34,000 pounds of produce indoors from this facility on an annual basis. And they're developing this locally at this site indoors, and the basic technology, which, you know, is basically a light source, UV light source, and then these shelving units, for lack of a better term, that support these little pods, which are connected to a water supply, which provide, you know, I guess, irrigation to whatever you're planting the produce. So there's going to be a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables grown from this location, and it's going to support businesses within the local area, the Metro Milwaukee area, whether it's restaurants and so on. They hope to someday possibly develop a food share to some of the neighborhood, nearby apartments and so on. And then it just sort of further supports the economic development, the creative, I guess, output within this area. Just brings a lot of interesting possibilities for the future, not only for this neighborhood, but for the city of West Dallas. So, and a way for people to connect through growing food. So they will operate their headquarters from this location, from the West Dallas location. And it will be, while not initially, there is potential for it to be available to the public. Aside from that, they will offer tours. Those will be prearranged dates. The hours of operation are primarily 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is also some work within the farm areas on the weekends, typically within those hours. Staffing is 3 to 4 farmers and then 12 to 15 office staff. And not everybody's going to be there all at once. The office staff is primarily hybrid remote work, but they do have docking stations and a place here to sort of dock and do some office work if need be. There are going to be about 2 trucks per week, and these are going to be smaller box trucks, which will utilize that loading area on the east side of the building. And then just a closer view at the floor plan. This is the east side of the building here, the party wall with the bar lounge that we talked about previously. A lot of this area here is conference room, office area, storage, vestibules, front lobby, corridors, and then here you get into more of the prep area, tables, staging areas, and then you have the hydroponic production area in that northwest corner. And then there's a common service corridor. It's probably better seen here. It does run alongside the building, and then that loading dock here, which a truck can back up to this location and then offload, and then they can wheel items in through a wider door into the production area, in or out of that area. And then so we are recommending approval subject to the conditions here. December 9th will be likely the council public hearing, and then same conditions, pretty much just getting us better details for the property, or getting us better details if anything has changed in the landscaping conditions. So thank you.
Thanks very much. Any questions from the commission?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are the owners the same as the owners of the restaurant, Baker's Row restaurant?
This will be a separate ownership group. So yeah, the restaurant and the farming are 2 separate tenants within the building that's owned by Bob Monick.
Okay.
Who basically.
So we don't know who the owners are?
Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, I guess as far as, what would you like to know? The name?
I don't know.
Michael, I'm forgetting his last name, runs Fork Farms, and
Okay.
he's primarily engaged right now. I don't know too much about their origin, but I know they're out there in Wisconsin right now trying to get connected with schools and different groups to sort of really grow this idea of hydroponic farming. And now they've come to the point now where they have this location near the the iconic farmers market.
It's a great
And
idea.
it seems to be, a perfect match chemistry for that offering. And then I'm forgetting the name, but Deanna and I forget the,
Blinking.
yeah, I'm blanking,
Had
but,
a meeting.
but they're, again, I sort of their origin, but I mean, their idea is, yeah, something like that. Their idea is to sort of just, I think they have experience in the lounge bar industry prior, and they're looking for something, kind of industrial looking in nature, so kind of that grit, but at the same time, very high end finishes and modern finishes. Again, in the hub of the fashionable east side of West Dallas. So, yeah.
Good idea. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Move approval.
A second?
I'll second.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. We'll get to item 10. Under meeting schedule.
So. Anyone have a preference? Yes, what we've done in the past is I passed the November meeting and unless people want to come in the day before Thanksgiving, then certainly. Might be a skeleton crew, but otherwise, what I think is there's 3 Wednesdays prior to the Christmas holiday that could be options if you want to keep it on Wednesdays.
Number 3rd.
December 3rd, December 10th, or
17th.
17th.
Do you have any preferences?
10th might work out best for us, but that's just us. What works out best for you?
Fine. 7.
Right now, it doesn't appear to be a huge meeting. It seems to be maybe a few items.
Like 2 at this
Two
point.
items at this
And I
point.
believe last year we did hold it at 5 instead of 6.
Oh, that's right.
So we could, if it works with planning commission of the 10th, mayor's comment, we could certainly push it up a little bit if that works with everyone's schedule.
That'll be fine.
If there-
Look for everybody else.
Doesn't matter to me.
5 too early for anyone?
A little.
5:30?
5:30.
Okay.
Okay.
What date?
10th.
The 10th, Wednesday, the 10th.
Go to project tracking if you have any updates.
Checkers. Open. And the other, if they haven't been, the other bar, the Slingshot Bar, 63rd and National, is a really fantastic place. The Union Green is coming along.
But there's a bit,
Is out there today, good, yeah.
yeah, some stuff's going on right now.
And then lastly, the Rev, I wasn't able to make the ribbon cutting, but I've been in the building, a little bit prior, and it's fantastic. It's a beautiful apartment building. I don't know if anyone here went to the ribbon cutting or attended that, but it was quite a nice invite, and I think it's a fantastic building, so. I don't know if there's anything else we have, but That's primarily, does Plan Commission have any questions on any of our, Lane, I know you asked me about NNS towing. They've applied for occupancy. They made it through our conditional use process, our planning process, but, I don't see building permits being applied for yet. I think some of that may be just cleaning out the space that they want to get into, but I can follow up with Charlie at NNS and find out where they're at. Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
All right, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All in favor? Opposed?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I prefer it. Favor every day,
Yeah.
wound care 3 times a week, and infusion 7 days a week.